Hey guys, before I get started, I just want to say that I'm a little under the weather, so that's why I sound very stuffy, congested. If you hear me breathing a lot, then that's why. So please do not start talking about your girl because I'm going through it currently. So welcome to my channel. So today I will be doing a simple full face look. All of my products were from the drugstore, Ulta, Walgreens, Ulta, well yeah, you can find them at Walgreens too, but Ulta, Walmart, Target. All of the products I'm using will be listed down below in the description box. Before I get started, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. So I am using the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser Primer by the brand Maybelline. So I never typically use primer, and I actually learned that you don't necessarily need primer as long as you moisturize your face really well before applying makeup. But I have no complaints on this primer at all. Next, I'll be using the Instant Lift Brow Pencil by the brand e.l.f. This pencil was only $2, and I'm just concealing my eyebrows with my LA Girl Pro Concealer. Next, I'll be using that same LA Girl Pro Concealer that I use to clean up my eyebrows for my eyelids, and of course, I'm blending it out with my fingers because that's what I always do. But I'm just putting this on my lids before my eyeshadow application. Now I will be going in with my Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. Of course, you can see that I'm using this, it's kind of like an orangey shade. This shade was much brighter than I expected it to be, but this palette is called Velvet Rose, and this palette was only $8 at my local Ulta. So I'm just going to be blending this shade in. I'm trying to get it blended in as much as possible because, like I said, this shade was much more brighter than I expected it to be. But a good thing is this color and this whole palette as a whole is very pigmented, so that's really good. So after that, I'm going straight back into this Makeup Revolution palette, and I'm using this tan shade. Keep in mind that I'm using the same palette for my eye look as a whole, but I'm using this tannish shade to just kind of soften up that bright orangey pinkish type color. So I'm just putting that in sort of in my crease, but I'm just trying to smoothen out the color a bit more. Also, this little brush that you see me using a little bit, I'm using this to kind of blend out my colors more. Now I'm using a tad bit darker shade of brown, and I'm just putting that directly in my crease. I honestly did not care for how this brown ended up looking, so I'm just trying to make it work at this point, but I'm just blending it out as much as I can. I'm going back in with this same tannish shade, and I'm just putting that directly on my lid. So this is the mascara that I always use, and I believe it's by Maybelline, but the lashes I'm using are from my local beauty supply store, and they're by Eye Envy. For foundation, I will be using my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. I'm in the shade 330, and I actually used to wear this foundation a little bit, like in high school when I needed a foundation. So I didn't even have to go out to buy any new foundation since I already had this, but I love this foundation. And so as you can see, I'm applying a second, what do you call it? I'm putting on a second layer of foundation just because the first layer wasn't as much coverage as I kind of wanted, especially for this being a full face. But I'm just going to be blending that all out, and yeah. So of course now I have to brighten, and I'm using my LA Girl Pro Concealer for that. I'm using Cool Tan in my shade, but I'm also using a shade lighter. I can't remember which exact shade, and I'm pretty sure I used Creamy Beige. Now I'm just gonna blend her out with my good old sponge, and yeah. So y'all know I don't be contouring, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, and I'm using my LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the shade Toast. So we're gonna see how this works. So I really thought that I was doing something, but I'm just, you know, placing some dots. I'm gonna do that on my cheeks, and then I'm also gonna do it on my forehead. I actually got a contour brush as well. I got it from, it's by Elf, I think, or maybe Wet n Wild, I'm not sure. But I got her, and I'm gonna just use it to, you know, blend out my quote-unquote contour. So after using my brush, I'm also going in with one of my sponges just to make sure that there's, you know, no patchiness or uneven colors on my face. So this is what I typically use to bake, and I'm just using my Makeup Revolution banana powder. I'm placing this on the areas where I used concealer. And so after I apply this on my face, you're gonna see that, you know, I'm just wiping this right off my face with the brush. I learned that I do not like having this sit on my face, just because I don't even want to deal with having, you know, my face looking all crazy and bright, because I decided to have some powder sitting on my face for too long. So after I'm wiping this off, I'm going in with my Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. I'm using this just to kind of add some color back to my face. And I'm using this in my direct shade 330, which is Toffee. So y'all, I actually decided to use blush this time, and I'm using the shade Mellow Wine by Wet n Wild. I didn't want to use too much, so that's why you see me using a little bit, but I really like it, and maybe next time I'll apply a little bit more. Now I'll be using my Wet n Wild MegaGlo highlighting powder. This is in the shade Golden Flower Crown, and I love this highlighter so much. I definitely suggest this to anyone to purchase, but I'm just applying this on my nose, my cheeks, and also above my lips a little bit, and underneath my eyebrows a little bit. Now with my lips, I'm using lip liners from the brand NK, found at my local beauty supply store. I'm using two different shades. One is like a brown, then another one is like a coffee type brown, like it's a darker shade of brown. So I'm just mixing those two liners together. For my actual lip gloss, I'm using a tiny bit of this Plumping lip gloss by the brand Essence, and I'm also using this Shimmer Balm by Makeup Revolution, which is very balm and it smells great. I'm just using a little bit. To set my face, I'm just going to be using my NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Okay, you guys, so this concludes my drugstore full face look. All of my products can be easily accessible at your nearest Ulta, Walmart, Target. All of my products were drugstore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.